Let's go live. Yeah, alright. Oh, we usually play our music before we go live. But anyway, it's fine. We're live. I hope this mic is working.
Yes, it is.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Hi everyone. Just give me a sec. Let me go live on the phone. We're starting late, which is terrible. But we are here. We are here. Let's see. Can you see you? I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. Awesome. Hi.
Good evening.
We have some an interesting looking person over here. Let me know. Look at this one because it's very distracting. An interesting looking person. She is joining us for the first time on Real Deep CONVOZ.
Yeah.
So please, everybody knows me by now because they have been seeing my face, but they don't know you. So please introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Mutolani Balabi.
She's a recent Mrs. by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
A recent Mrs. Yeah.
Holla to the missus in the house. Okay. So today's gonna Praise is not here as you can see at the moment, but his spirit is with us.
Yeah.
Always with us. And Adiola also is not with us at the moment. She might join in if she can beat the devil that is Lagos traffic. If she can't, she'll join us again next week. But we're gonna hold it down here for the next hour and just talk about carry on with our conversations from last week. Now, I don't know whether we might revisit the conversation next week because I know that it's exciting for me, but I also know that it's something that Adiola and Praise were looking forward to discussing. But we already put out the word that we're gonna be talking today, so don't want to put it off or postpone it.
Okay.
So over the course of February, we've been talking about love.
Okay.
Seeing as it's the love month.
Okay,
By the way, tell me what you did for Valentine's Day. Tell me. I want to know what you did for Valentine's Day.
Well, it was maybe before I got married, Valentine used to be Valentine, but my husband does it was out of the house.
Okay.
I was out of town and it was a day before Valentine. Of course, I knew he wasn't talking much about it. I wasn't expecting anything. And then I got into the room. I saw this nightwear aunt, and I'm like, okay, I'm just.
So it was that kind of Valentine.
Yeah, and my favorite color, red. I'm like,
okay.
I was so tired. I just went to drop my bag, and then let me take. Of course, I know that it can't be what I am thinking. But of course, the first instant, I'm like, this is a lady, and that's not mine.
Oh wow!
Of course, on the second
you went there.
I don't know. It just crossed my mind. Said, okay, that's not mine. So I didn't want to think too much. So I got my bag and then I checked it out. I'm like, I saw the tag. I'm like, oh, that was so sweet. But that was a day before. But birthday,
nothing happened.
Young man just hi.
Well, we said here that
it was just
love is something that you show every day. You don't leave it to just one day to happen. You don't leave it to just one day to celebrate. And I think like we put too much pressure on ourselves, to want to do things that the world is doing, to want to follow the trend, to want to be, we put too much pressure on ourselves, I think. So, yeah, thank you. So, do you, however you are, do you. Be yourself, just do you.
But I wouldn't have mind if I had
nobody's stressing you at all.
Some wine. Yeah, I don't know. I could, when you're checking people's status, you're seeing a lot of things.
That's the problem with social media.
Can just
That's
to
the
do
problem.
something.
But that's the problem with social media. That's the problem with social media.
Sincerely, at some point, when if I was telling myself that, yeah, Val is every day, gets me hit all the time. But that day, I just wanted some extra. The young man had to work that day. He wasn't even looking in my direction. Guys, Valentine's Day said yes, sir. What were you expecting? You wanted me to get a saxophonist or something. I'm like, no, I'm just seeing people say you have gone to Instagram. I'm like, no, but then I wouldn't have mind something
nice.
Yeah.
Well, you have plenty of time to have something nice. Plenty of time to have something nice. So I guess that maybe then brings me to the question of what love means to you. I mean, we've had some time to talk about it and digest it. We've moved forward with that question. But since you're new to the table, I want to know what love means to you.
As simple as that question is, what's love to me? How would I know that you love me? Right? Okay, so I'm going to take it from the angle of my love languages, which have been, because so one of the things that I had issues when I just got married. I was expecting, just got married, the
love was supposed to be shocking.
The gish. I didn't get the gish. After having the conversation, I felt, guy, first 1 month was supposed to be like this. And the young man said, I just got married. I now have a wife. My responsibility has doubled. I need to, work harder. So this your gish love is not in my mind right now. Put it aside. But for me, I wanted the quality time.
Okay. Is that one of your love languages?
Yes. I wanted him to be available. But he's into the media. He's a filmmaker. He's always on set. So you need to understand. So it was a particular day I had to follow him to set, and I'm like, I'm never going to follow him again. It's so stressful in there. And no wonder he gets back home and I want to gist. I like confirmation.
He's not in the mood.
I fix my nails really. He likes me to fix my nails, and I fix them, and I'm flashing it everywhere, and he's not seeing it. And I'm feeling, guy, I just fixed my nails. I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. Like, that's all. So love. I wanted him to tell me, oh, I look beautiful today. So when I tell him, don't you think I look beautiful? And like, you already know you're beautiful. I didn't have to say. Okay, so love to me.
Can I before you even say what love to you is, because I have a sense what love to you means. You are so lucky that Diola is not here. If she were on this table, she would have torn you apart.
Oh, thank God, I'm lucky.
She would have torn you apart.
I'm lucky.
Because she would tell you she's coming from a place where she always wanted that validation. She always wanted that affirmation of, oh, you look beautiful, you look pretty, and you know what? If you tell yourself you're pretty and you're beautiful long enough, you won't need anybody else to say it to you.
Yeah, but even at that,
she will tear you apart. That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes I go the extra mile. Maybe it's really busy, but I still feel, oh, he likes it this way. Let me do at least say it. I'm home. I want to be the baby at home. I could go out there and be the boss. But then when I come home, just to the quality time. But he just sees me as the boss lady. I want to come home and be pampered. And then when you're just being baby, and he's looking at you like, babe, what's this your baby? You're out there doing boss, and then you're home. I'm like, yeah, I want to come home and be a baby. I need that quality time. And then he tells me, oh, you want to go to set? Oh yeah, I'll sit at home with you. But just be sure that, of course, you know what that
food.
And then I feel like I'm being threatened by, I have to go. But then I understand. So it's love. That definition of love to me.
I think you have to sort of balance your expectations, because you have to also understand that, just the same way you have your own life, you go to work and you have your own things that you do, and he also has his own life. He goes to work and he also has the things that he's doing. And it's better to not put too much pressure on each other to be the thing that, because I'm saying it like I'm not married, so it seems like it's easy for me to say, but I've been with enough married people and enough couples, and I've heard enough things for me to for me to, I don't need to be in the situation for me to have learned from a situation. Just what I mean.
Okay.
So try. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. All I'm gonna say is try. Try not to put too much pressure on yourself and on him, and have that expectation, because my brother-in-law always says, I have no expectations of anybody. Because when you have expectations, that's when they disappoint you. That's when he disappoints you. I'm telling you, that's what he'll always say. Of course, it doesn't necessarily always work out that way, because of course there are certain people that you will want to have expectations from based on the kind of relationship that you have with them.
Tough sometimes.
I know. I don't
want to be all strong all the time.
I get it, but honey, love yourself. And you know what my sister will also say? Whatever you need, take it. You don't need permission.
Okay.
Take what you need. And I'm not going to repeat what she usually says because it's not user friendly. But if you want something, take it, because it's your right. You have the right to take it.
What if you feel that you probably asking too much or something?
It's all in your mind. Why are you feeling like you're asking too much? Is he telling you that you're asking too much?
No.
So why are you feeling like you're asking for too much?
And maybe it's all in my head.
It's all in your head. Look, I'm telling you.
So many expectations.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm telling you, we create so many experiences in our heads.
Sure.
And experiences that have not actually happened, but we make real because what you think in your mind is what plays out in your actual experience. The things that you're thinking and the things that you're creating in your mind is what you're creating something that doesn't exist, but it will exist because you have created it.
I thought about it.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So, sweetheart, this journey is long. This journey is long, so you should enjoy it. If you're already apprehensive in this first few months, this journey is long, so you need to enjoy it. You need to also understand that if just for instance, right? If you looked at, and what we're talking about today is loving yourself, right? Because the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, right? We just think about loving your neighbor. We don't think about loving ourselves. But the truth is that it starts with ourselves.
True.
It starts with us.
True.
And if we cannot love ourselves, we cannot love other people, and we cannot accept love from other people.
True.
So we have to get that foundation right with loving ourselves.
So I'm just thinking.
Yes, I'm listening.
So going up to be, especially
Hi, Diola. You know what I think? I think maybe she should join. I don't know how I'm going to invite her. Dee,
she needs to send an invite.
Yeah, request to join the live so I can add you. Dee, request to join the live so I can add you to the call, so you can finish. You can deal with this girl over here. I'm listening.
In fact, I remember that. I remember having a conversation with her. I think like the first 2 weeks after I got married, and I said, I feel like I'm a prize. Like someone just won a prize, and then the guy's busy trying to make the prize comfortable in the house, forgetting that this is the real deal. And she said, "Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying, but manage expectations." And that's one of the things that actually helped me to say, guy, let's even talk about it. What were you expecting the first 1 month? I say,
exactly.
Now that I'm married, I feel, okay, how do I double my income? I need to make more money. I need to take care of you. That's not even what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, we just got married.
I want to chill.
Time. Let's go out.
Send a request to join the live. You want to chill. You want to be in honeymoon for like the next 3 months.
Wait, maybe not 3 months.
Sweetheart, reality will dawn on you quickly.
Maybe like 1 month. Go out on dates, take lovely pictures, and the young man is looking at me like, seriously.
But can I ask you a question though? Didn't you do all of that whilst you were dating?
Yeah, but then
why is it so different now that you've said the I do's and you've got the ring on the finger? Why is it now different? Why is there a different atmosphere about now I want to go out as a married couple? Because you have been going out as a couple before. So why is it different? Why does that shift in your mind?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. wanted to. December was very busy. We got married in December. We really didn't have time. We got married. We had to go. We traveled to his people. Had a number of parties. It was his birthday. So I thought we really had not had time. We just moved into a new apartment. So it's just all busy work, greeting people. We really not had that one-on-one me time, and I felt we didn't plan this thing this way. But then circumstances happened and it just didn't allow for it. And then he wanted me to just move. And I'm like, no, I wanted the quality time. I've always been someone who craved for quality time. I've always been the one who take care of every other person. I'm the first child in my house. And then I've grown up. So this time around, I'm like, you know what? I want to be pampered too. I've been the one caring
send a
for-
request to join the live. I think I can send it from here, no? Yeah, go live.
you?
Yes, I can.
So she'll just accept.
Yeah, so she'll
So
accept.
if you ask now that I'm married, let me be pampered too. I shouldn't have to be the one who's caring for everybody, who wants everybody to be okay. At least let somebody care for me too. But then the guy just feels, and the funniest thing is, if you're a strong woman, that's one of the reasons why I married you. I don't want someone who wants to. And then, are you feeling okay? All right.
Hi.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, but so can you hear us? Okay, can't hear you though, but can't hear you clearly. Yeah.
Oh yes, better now. Yeah.
You were telling Tolani that I would
You will finish her.
Thank God you're not here in person.
I said, yeah, you would have finished her by now. That's all right. That's okay. So, sweethearts, you're looking for quality time.
Yeah.
But can you not have that quality time a few hours in the day as opposed to waiting for blocking off 3 days, 4 days? I mean, those times might come when his work or your time schedules allow for it. But can you not plan that into your day so you both agree that, okay, so time is quality time?
Okay, so what happens when, like I said, is a filmmaker, is probably left the house like 5 a.m. He's not back till 11. You're probably sleeping. Where is the time? I'm working, he's working, and then when it's weekend and you feel, oh, thank God it's home today, and then he's sleeping all day because he's tired. And you're like, excuse me, guy, wake up.
I think that is the reality for many married couples.
I have to wake him up.
You need
Babe, I need to rest. How stressful. And that was a conversation we had before. I said, let me even follow you to this set. And I see the kind of big cameras they carry. I'm like, oh yeah. I didn't do anything on set that day. But I was
you were tired.
That I felt,
so you can imagine him that was actually doing something.
Until then, I didn't understand. I just felt, you just stand behind camera now. He said, oh, I just stand behind camera. So when I went to set with him, we didn't leave the set till like 1:30 a.m.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, you know what? Don't invite him to set again. I'm not coming. It doesn't make sense. But sometimes you just, I'm not going. But the days that you now want him, he's tired. And then I feel, I now need to always understand that he's tired.
No, but I think you need to have the conversation rather than converse in your mind, because all these conversations you're having is only taking place in your head.
True.
You're always you're always feeling like, oh, I have to understand. Oh, it's all taking place in your head. So you're not actually having the conversation where you say, sweethearts, this has to happen. I understand you go to work XYZ. So let us agree. Let's do prayer of agreement. to agree that, okay, accept that work must enter or whatever, but we must at least have this time, on this day, at least twice a month or something, because also, like you said, you work. And when you get home as well, you're tired too, you want to sleep. So that's what I'm saying about managing your expectations.
Well, we did that. So before we got married, we decided to say, we had all this thing planned out that, okay, every Friday, we need to have movie time. So you're seeing a movie with him. He's probably sleeping. I'm like, guy, wake up. It's movie time.
He makes
You need to
movies.
wake
So for
up.
him, watching a movie is like just send me to sleep.
He's like, or probably wants to watch one movie. I want to see another. And then, because he's a filmmaker, he's seeing a movie and then he's looking at the camera angle and then he's looking like the lights. And I'm like, no, that's
We
not
know
what is
them.
happening with this movie.
We get them plenty. We know
No.
them. We know them.
He's analyzing. Oh, did you see that shot? I didn't see no shots. I'm just seeing a movie. So
What shop?
You watch
I
shots,
am
right?
right? Which one? Like, oh, you didn't see that. Oh, and then he wants to take it back. I'm like, God, this is not how. So I get it. But like you said, because it's planned to say, oh, this is our dance time, or this is the time we need to go out. This is, oh, yeah, sometimes he tries to say, oh, babe, okay, yeah, I know that this is me time. And he says, I'm not picking any call. But within me, I start feeling bad. Like, hey, maybe I'll be the one telling him, maybe you should pick your call. It might be important. Or maybe you should go and rest. You probably need to rest. Or
Answer her
something.
because let me answer her. You can't hear. Oh, but I can hear you, so you need to check your own.
Can you
side.
hear us now? Our mic is still working.
Yeah, we can actually hear you, so you need to check your on your own side. Well, why? How have you thought about maybe find so you can't be feeling bad. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Maybe you log out and
Maybe because the phone is
Yeah.
far away from us.
no. She can So you were saying how you start to feel bad
Like,
for taking for I don't understand. Wait. You start to feel bad for you guys doing something you have agreed to do. You
yes.
can't feel bad
Because
about
you
it.
feel it
But
probably
then
should be
you-
rested. Because you know what the schedule is for the following day.
Yeah, but Tibi too, he knows.
Yeah.
And then how long are you going to feel? So, because what will happen is you just be like, okay, don't worry. Oh, yeah, go and rest. Okay,
Yeah,
don't
go and
worry. Oh, yeah,
rest.
go and rest.
Yeah.
But you'll be resenting it because really,
Well-
what you really want to do is spend that quality time.
Maybe
So
not
maybe
yet.
sometimes, maybe not, maybe without thinking, okay, we must go out. There are things that you can do indoors. You can find alternative ways of spending time without actually
Together.
having it be like an action-based activity.
So another thing that I realized is
This is so off script, guys, because this is, I mean, I have like a whole look. Let me show you my notes. I have like a whole thing planned out to talk about today, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm here for you.
And then what was I saying? I think I lost my thought. You asked me a question.
Yes, you're saying going out, or I was saying find an alternative way of spending time
yeah.
together. Yeah.
So I realized that he is most interested in. So if I want to get his attention, like I need him to have conversations with me, just talk about business. It looks as if when is no matter how tired he is, his energy just comes up.
Because it's
So the only way
is
I
ego.
can
It's
have
ego.
a conversation with him, if I really want to, is to then say, oh, there's this business idea, or there's something that I think you should, and then you see all his energy, and I'm like, guy, really, do you have to get so serious all the time? And then I look like the unserious or the too playful one. Then he says no, but then I add, maybe because I haven't gotten to that level where I'm now resentful,
Okay.
right?
No, but we don't want you to get resentful.
Well,
No.
I will not begin to pay attention because sometimes
Okay.
you're not sure what you're piling up. Because I've had issues where I needed him to do something, he didn't do it, and I didn't want to be like I was being too pushy, so I didn't talk about it. I didn't know that I was piling it up. And then one day he was sleeping, and I was just angry that
You are
did he see
sleeping.
that I am angry about something. And then I had a conversation with him the following morning to say, I'm not happy with you. I'm like, really?
Why?
I was more angry.
That
That he did
didn't-
not
you
even
know-
realize
Can
that
you imagine?
I was angry at
Can you
first.
imagine? Now
And
you
then-
not.
And then he says, babe, have I done something? Like, really? You're not aware that I wanted this? And he said, tell me. I didn't know. I'm not a witch. I don't. You know,
you know
after
that-
the conversation was when I realized that, oh God, Tora, maybe you're thinking too much of this guy. Just
You know that
say
men,
it.
there's actually a theory, a gender theory. I think it's called genderlex theory that talks about
Mhm.
how differently men and women communicate.
Hmm.
Forget all the story about gender equality and all that stuff, right? Men and women are not the same. Their brains are wired differently, their bodies are wired differently, their hormones and emotions, everything is wired differently. And so when they converse, even when they communicate, the man is saying one thing, the woman is hearing another because she's using her heart, her head, her feet, her
analyze what is
skin
being
to analyze
said.
analyze what is being said, reading between the lines when
True.
there are no lines,
True.
you know, reading over the lines, under the lines.
True.
And
And
for the
saying,
guy,
"No, that's
he's
not what I
just like, you know, I said what I said. How did you go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds?
Oh my God.
So the onus actually is, I mean, of course, both parties share responsibility in terms of how they communicate, right?
True.
But the onus really is on us, right? So I'm going to say you, not you because you're the woman, but you because you are a party in this, right? So your responsibility is to make sure that when you're conversing, when you're communicating, he's understanding what you're saying. But we will say I'm fine, but what we really mean is that oh bye yeah.
That's a typical example. Some days back, I wasn't feeling too fine. And then he came home, I'm like, oh, babe, I don't feel too fine. And then he just says, oh, sorry. Have you taken any meds?
Hello, everybody, hello.
I said, have you taken any meds? I'm like, no, I just think it's stress. I just need to rest. And he's like, okay. I'm like, is that all? He's like, oh, sorry, I don't know what is wrong. I'm like, you're not even caring. You're not going to pamper me. He said, oh, sorry. And then he drew me close and like, okay, sorry. And then he asked if I wanted to eat something. I said, I'm not hungry. And after like 30 minutes, I said I was hungry. And then he said, okay, so what would you eat? I don't know. And he said, you have to eat something. Like, but I don't know what I want to eat. Should I make you noodles? I'm like, no, I don't want noodles. In my mind, I was just expecting him to say, maybe pepper soup or something.
That is doing you. I think that's the problem. It's that is doing you.
I wanted him to just say, okay, would you take maybe pepper soup or something? And he didn't ask. And I expected him to just, when I said I'm not feeling fine, at least, you know, pepper soup has a lot
You
of
have
pepper.
too many
Maybe.
expectations. Have you really thought about the fact that you have too many expectations?
Maybe I do. I can't rule that out.
You have too many.
Maybe.
Look, we expect too much from people, and we expect. And what is worse is that's bad enough. But what is worse is that we don't communicate our expectations.
I think that's the problem.
So it's fine for you to have expectations, right? Now, whether
Your
they
partner is not even
whether
aware.
they are small or they are big, that's
True.
another conversation. But to have those expectations and in your mind expect the other person to
Just figure it out.
That's witchcraft now.
No, you just feel
It's witchcraft.
well. Maybe the expectation is
It's
coming
witchcraft.
from.
Auntie, it's witchcraft. So let's not deceive ourselves. It's witchcraft.
So what happens when you came from a house where when you're not feeling fine, everybody is running, your father is sitting by your side, oh sorry,
You
my
are spoiled.
daughter. And he's saying, would you want this? Do you want that? You know, that minute just maybe I should just go to my house.
I'm
you know?
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being so harsh about this. It's just because look,
But that's reality.
No, I understand, but you see, the fact that that's the way that it was when you were growing up doesn't mean that it was right. It also doesn't mean that it was wrong. It felt good, but see, that's another fundamental problem is that you are dependent. You're still looking for that validation.
Would you say that's validation or you just
It
want to be taken
is.
care of?
No, auntie, take care of yourself. You're a grown ass woman.
Wow, when you're
Take
taking
care
care of
of
yourself all the
yourself.
time and then you just feel, can I be a baby today? You know.
Yeah, but communicate it. Look, say, honey, I'm not feeling well, and all I want to do is just be pampered today. Don't ask me any questions.
Or they might not even know how to do the pampering.
Exactly. So this is another problem again. This is another challenge is that the people that were expecting things from may not have the capacity to do those things.
So what do you then talk?
You tell them. Because
And you tell them and they don't know how
keep
to
saying
do it.
Then if they don't know how, then show them how.
Okay.
Show them how.
But you know, at that time is not when you want to start showing them how.
Because you are because you no, it's because you're holding a chip on your shoulder. It's because you're carrying a chip. You want to be massaged.
Yeah.
It's because you want your ego massaged. And so you're not thinking about what's the end goal here. I want to be happy. How am I going to get happy? How am I going to reach my end goal of being happy? Is it that I'm going to continue pretending or be doing a score for him? That's not going to make you happy, because what that happens is creates tension. He's tensed. He doesn't know what
And
to
then he's
say,
trying to figure
how
out
to
what
say
she
it,
wants.
what he's done. Now he's walking on eggshells around you. And then do you know what happens? Is by the time at the end of the day, you have made him run around and do everything you want to do, and you now feel happy. You're gonna look like a mad person. Because it's true, because today you are fine, tomorrow you're not. He doesn't know which side of you he's getting.
True.
Look, my sister will always say that the problem, not the problem. The problem, in fact, let me paraphrase it. The problem and the solution is you.
Oftentimes.
Most times, every single time. Because let me tell you something. If you change the way you approach somebody, the thing that you're thinking or the way that you're thinking they are approaching you will change.
Explain that further.
All right. So, I was listening to somebody one day, right? And like a mentor, okay? And he was saying how one of his mentees came to him and was complaining about, oh, my work is terrible. I don't like my boss. He's always, he's always confrontational. He never applauds my work. He was always criticizing me. I know this person. So please, talk to this person. I can't do it. I said, okay, no problem. I'll talk to the person. But you just you relax and calm down and . So apparently 2 or 3 months went by, and when this mentor went and spoke to this mentee, so how is work going? So everything is fantastic. My boss is lovely, compliments my work and everything is good now. What changed? According to the mentor, he didn't say a word to the boss. But what changed? It was her attitude. What changed the whole thing was her attitude.
Sure.
Because now she's thinking, oh, they've spoken to my boss, so he's going to be nicer to me. So she's now expecting a nice boss. So that animosity she always had, that anger, that angst, that anxiety she always had, every time her boss called her or mentioned her name or she had to deal with her boss, was no longer there, because what she expected was a nice man.
All right, you get me there.
I get you there. Fantastic. If I get her there, then that's all I'm interested in. That's all I'm interested in. So it starts with you.
True.
And that's what loving yourself is about. It starts with you. Now, I don't know whether I can really go into the whole 9 yards. I don't know if I can do a deep dive, but
we can try.
I can try. So one of the ways that you can love yourself is to stop criticizing yourself. Think about that for a minute.
So
think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute.
What if you feel that? So sometimes there's so many things I want to do, and I feel it's not good enough. Okay, so I'm a singer.
Okay.
Not professionally anymore.
Okay.
And
hi Ben,
record a song, and you're about to go on stage, and then you're thinking, what if? It's not because you doubt that you're good enough. It's just something messing up in your head to say.
I agree. In fact, I'm happy that you say that it's messing up in your head.
Maybe, and then even when you're done singing, and everybody's like, wow, Tolanda was a beautiful performance. And I'm like, oh, no, you need to hear that part. I didn't do it so well. I don't know.
See, we're plenty in this like that. But let me tell you. The truth is, right? What would happen if you changed how you thought about yourself? What do you think would happen if you were going up on stage and you were and what you were going up on stage with was the idea that Tolani, you got this. Pick up that mic and tear down.
Yeah.
Tolani, you got this. Your harmony is on point.
Maybe
Your
if I was
melody
hearing
is
this
on
from you every
point.
time I'm going on
Tolani, you
stage.
got this. But the truth is, you don't need to hear it from me. You need to tell it to yourself.
But sometimes you're saying it to yourself.
You don't want to change, Auntie. See, these
I want us to be
things-
able to trash it out in such a way
Okay,
that
okay.
I'm trying to imagine.
I'm trying to
that there are
offload.
quite a number of people out there
Okay.
who had said, this 2021, I want to try a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start a new business. I want to do this. And then somewhere in between the line, you just feel, what if people don't like it? What if? How do you get yourself
My first answer to them would be stop criticizing yourself. My next answer would be kind to yourself. Imagine if somebody came to you with these like, oh, this is how I feel when I want to get on stage. This, I had so many dreams, so many hopes. In fact, my journal from January 1, 2021 was full, and now we're almost entering March and nothing has happened. What would you say to the person? Just to think. No. Let's think about it. What would you say to the person?
Before I think about that, but sometimes it's
No.
so good to advise other people.
Auntie, tell me what you would say. Somebody comes to you and they're down on their luck. They are completely, down and feel so sad about themselves and
about
their
something they wanted
lives.
to do and they've not been able to get started.
What's the first thing you would say to the person?
Well, I personally want to ask questions to figure out why. Have they done something in time past that has failed? Where is the fear of failure coming from? Personally, I said.
Okay, so I see where the problem is. It's even deeper.
I would want to ask questions. Why?
It's even deeper because you don't have a right. You don't have a right to criticize them.
Oh, well, so
You don't have a no. So you want to deal with this, right? Right? You want to deal with it.
Yes.
We have been conditioned, and we come from a society. We live in a society where we are constantly being criticized.
Okay.
We got criticism from our parents. We got criticism in school. We got criticism in church. We came out or whatever religious situation you're in. We got criticism at work. At every point in our growing up stages, right? We got criticism, and somehow.
But do you think asking the question is criticizing?
It is.
Person?
Because
How?
somehow it's made us feel like it's okay. And if you don't meet up, because we seem to be always aspiring to this thing, to this expectation, this big pedestal, right? And because we're, and I'm not saying it's not good to aspire, but what I'm saying is that we aspire, we fall short, and then we beat ourselves up.
Oh, well,
We beat
I'm
ourselves
trying to
up
understand.
because we think that it's okay. We've been conditioned to believe that it's okay. But have you heard the English saying that says, "Don't kick a man when he's down"? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So imagine if you applied it to yourself to say, "I had a plan, but somehow this plan didn't work. Well, what is my go-to? What is the first thing I'm going to do to myself? I'm going to tell myself how stupid you are, how ridiculously stupid, how you can't get anything right. Because a lot of times our environment is telling us that. So we've believed something that is not true about ourselves. So when it comes to us, we are the hardest. In fact, we are the hardest on ourselves. So if you're hard on yourself, which is why I'm saying I see what the problem is. If you're hard on yourself, how would you be nice to anybody?
Oh, well, I'm trying to see the angle where you're coming from to say why. I feel that if you do not understand why this person, how do you want to help when you don't know the reason?
The first thing you should tell the person is it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It's
No, but you see, it's so flippant to you because
I
it
had
doesn't mean
moved.
anything. It's so
Oh
flippant
yeah, it's
to
okay.
you.
Let's-
No,
No.
it's not flippant. It's not flippant because we've been conditioned to think that it is flippant. That
Maybe.
it doesn't. That well, your mates are they have already entered December. You are still
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You are still here in
yeah.
February. Complaining about what you did not do last year December. But
Okay.
you have to be kind to yourself. That is one sure way of loving yourself. You have to be. If you are kind to yourself, you will feel compassion for the next person. The first,
Then
your
how do you
first
then
thing,
show
your
kindness
first thing. How
to
do you show
yourself?
kindness to yourself?
Yes.
Tell yourself it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not meet this goal. It's okay. I accept my part. I see. There's a difference between accepting responsibility and blaming yourself.
All right.
When you
Do you
criticize,
want to explain the difference?
I will. When you
Okay.
criticize yourself, right? What sets in is guilt.
Sure.
And then every other negative thing starts to follow after that. Once you start to criticize yourself, you can't see anything positive.
Sure.
Once you start to blame yourself, you can't see beyond the blame. You can't see beyond the guilt.
Sure.
Unless, of course, there's somebody who can encourage you and talk to you and all of that stuff. But really, the encouragement and the talking is from inside. So what do you do to counter that? Okay, I had this plan. It didn't go according to plan. It didn't go as I thought it would.
Let's find something else.
Yeah, plan something else. Okay, why didn't it go to plan? Okay, maybe I didn't do XYZ or something changed in my environment that didn't allow that thing to happen. So what am I going to do? I'm going to visit the environment or revisit the environment or say, okay, so this happened. Now I see where the issue was. Okay, fine. I take responsibility for my part in this, but I'm going
But
to
you think
move
that's what
past
people
it.
do all
No,
most times?
no, they don't, and that's why they're in the rut that they are. We don't. We are not kind to ourselves. We don't compliment ourselves. We take ourselves for granted. We think it's so ordinary. We think it's not necessary to say it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. When we're growing up, you broke a glass. The first thing you see was he fought you alone.
And then you'll be threatening that broken
Exactly.
bottle will be used to make mark on your face.
I'm telling you.
True.
So how do you think you are going to respond if your child breaks a glass, your most prized china glass?
You most likely will shout.
You won't just shout. if the thing you 40 that you receive is what you will give. Because the truth is, you cannot give beyond what you have.
True.
You can't express love beyond what you have experienced.
True.
So you have to change you have to start to recreate your experience in your mind. You have to change how you think about yourself. It's okay. Look, there's no need to be a perfectionist. Perfectionism leads to conflict, criticism, blame, guilt.
So are you saying that one can then not aim for some level
You
of
can aim.
perfectionism
no.
to say, oh, I want it perfect?
There's nothing like perfect because you must give room for error. You are not expecting the error, but you must give room to be able to adapt. Because a lot of times, there are many things we have no control over. All we can control is how we choose to experience it.
True.
We can't control it.
True.
You can't control somebody falling sick,
Nah.
but you can control how you respond to that sick person.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
true.
control so many things, but you can control yourself. You can control your emotions.
But some people is they say, though these people are perfectionists. They want it all put together. How then do you help such people Or what would you say to such people who it's not because
I wish you see
their
some people, you see some
minds-
people I see you are talking about Solani.
oh well, I'm not the perfect. My personality does not even allow for perfectionism. But of course, sometimes I like it very professional when I do things. So I wouldn't mind it very perfect.
There's nothing wrong with being professional. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with working with an excellent spirit.
Okay, so that's the word.
There is nothing, in fact, excellence is required.
So, but then you want to then push yourself to do the extra to make it really excellent.
You can do that. But I'm saying don't kill yourself because you didn't get it.
Okay.
I'm saying it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. Not with the Bible talk say all I've seen are fall short of the glory of God. Not with the same Bible we talk. It's okay to fall short. Because you know what? It's what you do when you have fallen short that matters. So are you now going, I don't fall down, I go stay, I go dirty finish.
So how do you then shut your ears from, or how would you rather start caring less about what the environment is dictating, about what the expectation of the environment is?
Say be specific in what you're asking so I can answer it properly.
So let's say I want to make a video.
Okay.
I want to make a video.
All right.
And
I need to check how we're doing for time because we can be talking forever and ever. Amen. Okay. We've got a little bit of time. This is all for Tolani, obviously. This is all for you. We're still gonna go deep dive with when the whole crew is on loving yourself and the ways that you can love yourself, but I'm with you.
So there is a certain expectation. There is a quality that is expected. And then when you don't meet up to that, you're scared, or you're probably wondering, would it be accepted? It's just worrying or caring about what people would think about what you're doing.
Do it anyway.
Even when you feel
do it anyway.
Really?
Because what's going to happen? What's the alternative? You're going to be stuck there.
You're going to wait
for the next
perfect
5 years, not doing it. Other people would have done it, made their mistakes, learned from it, grown, moved on, and you are still thinking, what if they don't accept me? Do it any freaking way. I like that. Do it anyway.
All right.
Do it scared. Even though I shouldn't even be saying that, but so that you understand what I mean by do it anyway. Do it in spite of what you're afraid of. They say faith is not the absence of fear, but it's denying fear the power to keep you back, to keep you down, to keep, to hold you back. Do it anyway.
All right.
Do it anyway. It doesn't matter. Do it because you know what? Look, there are people, right, who have this really big sets, grand sets, fantastic, all of that's going for them. They've got cameras and lights and everything is so perfect, right? The content is shit. Excuse my French, but it is. There are people who started with a mobile phone. In fact, there are people on YouTube who only use a mobile phone to record their content, and they are making a killing. They are getting endorsements. Which one do you want to be? You want to wait for the next 3 years until you have gathered the money for camera, lights, sound, AC, sets, stage, or you want to do it from the comfort of your home and say, I'm doing it anyway, but as I'm doing it, I am building capacity. As I'm doing it, I am learning. As I'm doing it, I'm getting feedback. I'm growing a network. So when I have the capacity to have the lights, the stage, the sound, the camera, everything else, then you've already built yourself to the point where you have the capacity. Everything else is secondary. If there's anything that COVID taught us, is that build your capacity. Because if you don't have that, then you have nothing at all. The guys who went from big sets to doing Zoom shows. The guys who went from organizing 500, 1,000, 3,000 capacity events to doing Zoom weddings. Do it anyway.
regardless of what you think.
Do
anybody would
it
say.
anyway, because all you're doing is just shoring up yourself. Do it anyway. Be proud.
So even when you get started and it looks like what you had always feared is what is happening.
Hey, hi, Princess, I miss you girls. Hi. Michael, hey, great conversation, Bookie. Thanks. I'm listening.
So what if so this content is out and then what you had always feared then suddenly begins to happen?
What is it that you're feared? And I'm going to address that, but what is it that when you say what
so
it is you're
let's
always
now
feared?
say, then you fear that people would not accept what you're putting out, or people would not like it. And then, of course, maybe when you get started, you are not getting as much attention as you feel.
You feared it.
Yes.
You feared it, so it has come to pass.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I'm saying. You feared it. You focused on it happening, and so it happened.
Maybe you didn't focus, but maybe you just crossed your mind.
As it crossed your mind, as you see, ha. As it crosses your mind, you crush it.
But you know that's the reality. Actually,
it is a reality, but it is a false reality. As it crosses,
accepted the minute they get out.
Yes, but the person that released first album, nobody bought, and then went back to the studio and released second album, nobody bought. Went back to the studio, released third album, 5 people bought. Something is happening. Went back to the studio, released another album, 100 people bought. You build, you stack it. If you stop because you failed, then you stop the momentum. What you're supposed to do is learn, look for the lesson, look for the positive. And here's another thing, you cannot focus on the negative. What you focus on, you bring to pass. What you pay attention to, and let me say, what you pay attention to, whether you are paying attention to the abundance or the lack, whatever you pay attention to comes to pass.
True.
Because you are attracting it.
True.
Whether you are aware of it or not, you are attracting it.
True.
What you pay attention to comes to pass. If you are thinking I'm a low life, dirty shame,
that's what you get.
That's what you get. If you're thinking I don't want to be a low life, dirty shame, that's what you will get. Because that's what you're focused on. You're not focused on wanting to be the best at what you do, wanting to be the first at what you do, wanting to be innovative and creative, wanting to be sought after, wanting to be the expert. You're not focusing on the things that you want to be. So if you focus what you don't want to be, will be.
Exactly. True.
It's what your mind is focused on. It's what your mind is focused on. So there's no two ways. There's no magic about this thing. There's actually no magic about this thing. We think it's
we need
some,
to take this thing.
We think it's some, we've got to, get our the only way to change your mind. You change your thoughts, you change your life.
Exactly.
You change your thoughts, you change your life. So back to you and Uncle.
Amazing conversation.
Manage your expectations.
Yes, that's in check.
By managing your expectations, what the first thing you need to do is actually demand more from you. Because,
what do you mean?
Because we think that the other person is the problem. We don't actually see that our gun, we are like this.
But we can be excused.
What excuse? What, I don't understand. What is being excused, please? What's being excused?
Well, let's share it. It doesn't have to just be me.
Why do you want to share it? Take responsibility for your own actions, for your own
So what if you're
thoughts.
taking responsibility for all of this and then you don't get the equal response?
What are you waiting for? This responsibility that we're talking about, the doing your own part, is it dependent on somebody else responding in the same way?
No.
Look, I am not saying that it is nice. I shared this story last week, right? I have this friend who he's older. He's much older than I am anyway. But we're good friends, right? And I remember a few years back, he'd be like, "Oh man, I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you." Da 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 da. And I used to get so. I'm like, it's not as if I mean, like we vibe, we're cool and all of that. Like I get it, but if I say those words back, is he going to think I mean it? Is he going to think I mean it? You know, is he going to take it the wrong way? You know, how if you know, so how do I so one day I actually said, you know, the reason why I don't say anything when you say these words sometimes is because I really don't know how you're going to take it. And I don't want to come off the wrong. I don't want to send the wrong signals or seem like I'm encouraging you or send mixed. I don't want to do that, right? So I get a bit apprehensive as to how to respond. And he goes to me and says, "Look, I get it, right? I get it. Totally get it. But I'm saying those words because that's how I feel.
Whether you say it back or not.
Whether you say it back or not doesn't matter. It'll be nice.
Valid point.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice if you told somebody I missed you back and they could say that. See, but if I'm fulfilling my own what you call it, I'm being in my own space, my own happy place. Expressing how I feel is good enough for me. So I'm not saying it so you can say it back to me. If I was waiting to hear it back, I would have stopped saying it.
But it was valid on your side.
No, it wasn't. Until I had that conversation with him, it was all in my head that he would think of it one way. He would see it the other way. Yes, he could have, but until I had that conversation, it all remained in my head. So you know what would have happened eventually? I would have stopped picking his call.
Because you feel
yes, because I'm like, nigga, don't you get the message? I would have stopped picking his call.
True.
And I would have lost out on a great friendship. I had created a scenario, I created a situation in my head. Maybe no, I didn't know anything about this thing before. I'm telling you, I didn't know anything about this thing before. I didn't know this. I'm talking years ago. I'm talking like maybe 15 years ago. Yeah, but like maybe like 15. I'm talking years ago. I didn't know anything about what I'm sharing right now. So that thing he told me has stayed with me for that long. So even when my own friends now, when they're like, oh, take me, oh, money, I'm like, listen, if you want to call me, call me. You don't want to call me, don't call me. I didn't beg you for friendship. I know, maybe that's how you also, it's also a crutch for you. You also want your ego to be massaged, that I called you and you called me back, or I messaged you and you messaged, like look,
true.
Listen, if that's how you roll, that's fine, but just chill. Yeah, chill. Accept my love the way I'm giving it to you. Don't expect me to give you love the way you are giving it to me.
I'm trying to figure out where the problem is, or how we got here.
We're still talking about problem.
I'm trying to figure out how we got here.
We're talking about loving yourself.
Oh my God,
We're talking about loving yourself, and it is so key. It is so critical because if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love somebody else. You cannot also accept love. You won't even know what love is, because what you'll be doing is criticizing yourself. You'll be harsh. You'll be blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. See, whatever goes right or wrong in our lives, we have contributed to it.
Some way or the other.
Some way or the other. True. Because we have first created the experience in our minds. And sometimes that experience we keep recreating or creating, is born out of where we come from, or where we must have seen it play out, or what we have experienced before. True. But the problem with revisiting the past in the negative form that it is that it doesn't allow you to take in any positivity.
So having that background or having experienced all of this, or how you have become who you are because of the background, how then do you move to say, you know what, this is the result that I want? I would not.
Okay, say it. Start
To
saying
yourself.
it to yourself. One of the tools for changing how you see yourself and how you love yourself is to look in the mirror,
Mm.
because that's the only reflection that you see.
Mm.
Look in the mirror and tell yourself what you want. You got this.
All right.
Tolani, you got this.
Yeah.
Tolani, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes, because you know what? You make the best out of it.
True.
Tolani, you are beautiful.
Okay.
Tolani, you are loved. You're not just loved, you know how to love.
Mm-hmm.
You are love itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you create an atmosphere that allows you experience it on the daily. So it's not something you just say once and go.
And that's all. All right.
You have to repeatedly and consistently recreate the vision that you have of yourself, especially when you've come from a background, or you've come from a background where all you knew, all you were taught was criticism
Mm.
and beating yourself up and beating yourself down. We're taught to see the negative. We were taught to reaffirm the negative. Because when something wrong happens, you're like, should be I said it.
Oh God.
We're taught to affirm the negative things that we've told ourselves, that we've believed about ourselves, and that we believed about, the things that people have said to us and about us. So when something happens, it's like an affirmation in your spirit. I knew it now. I knew it. I knew it. I will write my goals for the year. But imagine if you woke up every day, every single day, and when you looked at your plans, you were saying it's going to work. In fact, I'm not. It's not just it's going to work. It is working. Even if I'm not seeing it right now, even if I'm not seeing it in the physical,
that it's sure.
even if I cannot touch it, it's not tangible right now. I will create the feeling that it is tangible.
Sure.
I will imagine myself already at the end of the goal, already accomplished, already successful. Imagine waking up every day and carrying that imagination with you the whole day. What do you think will happen? Your mind will open. You will be excited, even when something wrong, quote and unquote, because wrong is relative. There's no right or wrong in this world. There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong. People do shit. There's no right or wrong. It's true. Okay, so they will say there's no right or wrong. People murder, that's wrong, right? That's okay. So I don't contextually. Take it contextually. There's right and there's some wrongs. Take it contextually. I'm just saying that it's how you respond.
Sure.
It's how you respond, and it is what you create. So you've got to start. If you know that the persona that you have created is not serving you, change it. Change it. But we want to stay stuck in what we are familiar with. This is how this is how I am. And a leopard does not change its spots. You can't trick old dog new. You can't teach old dog new tricks. It's a lie. It's a lie.
All right.
It's a lie. Abraham became the father of nations.
True.
At what age? At what age? So even when they visited him and said, you will be XYZ, he still carried on for how not seeing it until he began to see it. So,
Wow.
my dear,
Been an
love
amazing
love yourself. Love yourself. I mean, tell yourself it is well. Tell yourself it is okay. I think that's, if there's anything that you take away from this today, it's okay. It's okay to mess up. It's okay, because what it is just an opportunity for you to learn and grow. So with every decision, with every action, with every step that you take, just keep affirming to yourself that it's an opportunity to learn and grow. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. So even if it doesn't go according to plan, all you'll be seeing in your mind is that I'm learning and I'm growing. I'm learning and I'm growing. I'm learning and I'm growing, regardless of what it is.
So that we can wrap this up.
We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up now.
So one quick one.
Mhm.
So what if it's another question, but don't, I promise it's gonna be the last one. What if you are then in an environment where you are constantly being criticized, or being criticized is the word.
You have to explain what do you mean by it, because there are several environments. Are we talking here about a child that's in a family home and that's being criticized? Are we talking about somebody
and
who
then you
is
can
married and their husband is constantly criticizing them, or vice versa? Or that you have friends who constantly criticize you? If you have those kind of friends, cut them off out of your life. You can't cut
So
your
what if it's an environment where you kind of cut up? Let's say a child is in a family and is constantly being criticized. How then will this child be able to do all of this and love him or herself?
if you had access to the child, tell the child the same thing. It's not that it's not easy. It's not, especially as a child, because your first 7 years is when you're made.
So a child like 18,
That's not a child anymore. Not a child at that
you can't live all by yourself at that age.
No, I don't understand.
Oh well,
Of course you can. So at
she
that
needs all
point,
the
at
funds
that
from
point,
the house and
that's
all.
fine. They can let them be criticizing you at home, be telling yourself a different story in your room.
So regardless of the
You
environment,
have
you're saying it's
to
possible.
counter. You have to counter it. It's possible. Do you know how many people have been told all their lives, you will never amount to anything good, you will never do anything good, you will never be successful, and they grew up with that on one side of their heads, but then they told themselves,
Another story.
I will. This is not my story.
So it's the most
Listen
important thing.
listen to Lisa Nichols tell you how she went from looking for from begging to buy food for her child to being one of the most sought after speakers in the world, earning in 7 figures. Listen to her tell you her story, how she was told she would never, her teachers, not just at home, her teachers told her she wouldn't. You want to write? You that cannot read, you want to write books? Who dash you?
So what you're saying is what you tell yourself is what is
What
most
you tell yourself is what is most important, because you know what, the environment is going to tell you whatever. The environment is going to tell you whatever they want, whatever it wants to. The environment is not designed to help you
in the first place.
It's not designed to help you in the first place. So you have to counter what the environment is telling you. You have to recreate it. Because if you don't counter it, if you leave it to fester, you will become what the environment says you are. You will. You will.
Amazing conversation tonight.
Guys, my throat is dry.
This has been an amazing time this evening.
My throat is dry. Tolani, thank you so much for joining us on Real Deep.
This is Real Deep.
Thank you for staying with us on Real Deep CONVOZ tonight. We will go back to this conversation because I think that we need to reiterate.
Yes,
we need to reiterate the concept of loving yourself and how it's okay, because for some odd reason we've been made to believe that we have to deserve love.
True.
But as you are breathing, are you not breathing?
Yeah.
You're breathing in air. Your nostrils are working. Do you deserve to breathe?
I do.
You do?
Well, the fact that God kept me alive.
Do you deserve breath?
I haven't done anything.
Do you deserve breath?
No.
So why should you deserve love?
Now I get it.
Good night, guys.
Amazing one.
Good night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get off this. Thanks everybody for joining in, and yeah, good night. How do I end this, man?
Escape. Okay. And
cool. Where is our video that we usually used to?
Up to play.